Welcome back to POV Italian Cooking, where you see cooking from my point of view. Before we talk about today's episode, I want to first officially announce that we are affiliated with the good folks over at Simply Good Food TV. What that means is you're going to be able to find the POV Italian Cooking and Expedient Ingredient episodes posted within the Simply Good Food TV app, and we're also going to be doing some collaborations with them, and I'm just very, very happy to be part of Simply Good Food TV. I am the first US-based chef or US-based content producer that Simply Good Food TV has chosen to work with, so I'm really excited about the opportunity. I want to thank Chef Peter Sidwell and Robert Stedman for reaching out to me after I've been mail bombing them with episodes and stuff because I was really interested in it. But at any rate, thanks to the folks over there. We're looking forward to what the future brings. Now let's talk about today's episode. I recorded this several months ago and just finally got around to editing the video and whatnot because I've been having some problems with my back. But at any rate, what we're making in this episode is a Sous Vide Ribeye with a fig reduction. I struggle from sometimes cooking red meat, so I tend to use my sous vide anytime I'm making a steak or a ribeye because you cannot screw it up. We'll talk more about that in the video. But the Chianti Fig Reduction, it's actually fresh figs, Chianti, and balsamic vinegar. I could just put this stuff on the stove and let it cook all day. It smelled amazing, and after I drizzled it on the ribeye and did a tasting, I couldn't wait to hit the stop button on the recording so I could just pour a gallon of it over my ribeye. It was incredible. At any rate, I've talked long enough. Let's get started and take a look at our ingredients. Now you've seen me use my sous vide before in a few other videos. Sous vides are outstanding for home cooks. Myself, I struggle with the red meats to get them done perfect the way we like them here in this household. We like a good medium steak. You can't mess up with a sous vide. You cannot mess. I've tried to mess it up. You can't mess up with a sous vide. Medium, people go to a restaurant and you order it medium, it's pink in the middle. Medium is a temperature, and then the meat reacts in a certain way to a different temperature. The sous vide is a precision cooker. It will bring the meat up to the temperature we want and hold it there. So we're going to do a sous vide ribeye. These are 1 pound ribeyes, and I'm going to do a little salt and pepper each side. I'm going to put in mine. I'm going to do add a pat of butter with on each side of the ribeye with a piece of crushed garlic or half a clove of crushed garlic, depending on how big my cloves are. Now ribeye does have a nice marbled fattiness. A lot of folks will tell you with your nice fatty meats you don't need the butter. Some will say you do. We're going to do one with, one without. Now, so it's simple. Salt, pepper, garlic, butter, meat, boom. This will be incredible. For our balsamic fig reduction, I really wish I had some mission figs. These are sweet figs that Whole Foods had today. So we're going to use our figs. We're going to use probably about 1.5 cups of our Chianti and 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. So this is going to be our main course. Let's get started. Got my ribeyes unpackaged. I've got 2 garlic cloves split in 2. Let's get these ready to go in the sous vide. Again, this could not be any more simple. We're going to salt and pepper each side. So I'm using kosher salt. I always use kosher salts on my red meats. A little bit of pepper on each side. These are 1 pound ribeyes. They're about 1.5 inches thick. Pat that in, flip them over. All right, so now what we're going to do, I've got my vacuum sealed bags. I always like to use vacuum sealed bags with my sous vide. A lot of people will do what they call the water immersion method, where they take just a regular old Ziploc bag. But I always feel like with a vacuum sealer that it pulls that flavor into the meat, which is what I'm going for. So I'm going to take my ribeye, take my vacuum seal bag, try not to let the meat rub down the bag too much, put that down in there. Now this will be the one that we will do with the butter. I'm just going to do a pat of butter on each side and a piece of garlic. And this is just 1 garlic clove split. Turn it over. pat of butter. If I can grab my pat of butter here. Come on. And then garlic clove. So we're going to take this over to our vacuum sealer, stick it in. There we have it. You can see that pat of butter, you can see the garlic, and you can see there is no air in this package whatsoever. So now when I drop this in the sous vide, it's going to cook in its own juices. I've got my 2 ribeyes ready to go. Now I've got a POV water bath, or the plastic thing that goes in my water. And so I bought this little rack, and I've never used it, but today I'm going to. What this little rack does is it kind of holds your meat so it can't overlap and it won't go into the, it won't get pulled into the vacuum or the water circulator. And it also spaces it out enough, as you can see, so the water can kind of flow through the ribeye. So let's take this over to our sous vide. You can see I have the Innova sous vide. I have it set for 132.5. Going to take our ribeye, just drop them right down in. You can see there, now they're swimming in their bath, and they're going to swim for an hour. Now let's get started on our balsamic fig reduction. So all we've got to do is prep our figs. And what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of cut that top off. And we're just going to cut these, let's say, we're just going to kind of chunk them up like this. Because we want these to kind of, over time, we want them to kind of break up. And we're actually going to put these in a blender once they're about done. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my figs chopped up. I have my figs ready to go. All we're going to do is put these in a sauce pot. Black mission figs would be best. These are sweet figs. They didn't have black mission figs, so I'm using what I could find at the store. Now we're going to go with 1.5 cups of Chianti. Choose your favorite Chianti, whatever you have. This bottle I had open from the other night, so we're just going to use it. That's about 1.5 cups, give or take. That goes in. So I have my 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. This just goes in. I'll give this a quick stir, and I'm going to get this on the stove, get it up to heat, and I'm going to turn it on low, and it's just going to simmer for 40 minutes. It's going to reduce. This is going to be outstanding. The sugars are going to come out. So bring it up to heat, then as low as you can set it, 40 minutes. Our balsamic and fig reduction has been on the stove for 40 minutes. You can see that the figs are starting to break up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this real quickly in our food processor, and I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess here. I'm going to shield some splashing here. Dump it all in. And I'm just going to pulse. Make sure you put your lid on this because you do not want this flying everywhere. You know what? I'm not going to pulse it. I'm going full open because what we want to do is break those figs up completely. Let's see what we got. Oh, honey, you should smell that. That's going to be so good on top of those ribeyes. So what we're going to do now is we are going to pour our fig reduction. My good friend Chef Nicola taught me something about making a reduction or making a sauce or making, he said anytime you take, of course he says it with this wonderful Italian accent because he's from Siena. He said anytime you make a sauce or you make a reduction and you put it in a blender, put it back on the stove. Because he said that the blender takes it apart and the stove puts it together. And he's a better cook than I'll ever be, professional chef. So you can see now our figs are all broke up. You can see the nice little fig seeds in there. Looks amazing. We're going to put that back on the stovetop and let it go for another 4 or 5 minutes. It has been an hour. Our ribeye are done in the sous vide. I'm going to reach over here, unplug the sous vide, my wonderful Innova sous vide. Now, you could eat these ribeyes right out of the bag. They're done. They're done to medium temperature. But I'm telling you, you don't want to do that. We're going to want to put a little crisp on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break away. I'm going to get these ribeye out of the bags, drain off the liquid, and we're going to reposition on the stove, and I'm going to show you how to cook these bad boys. My cast iron pan is just about where I want it. Now I'm going to warn you, where you're probably going to see little grease specks, because this makes a little bit of a mess when we put it on there. It only goes for 1.5 minutes each side. That's all you need. It's going to put a perfect sear. I'm going to do one at a time because I'm in no hurry. I'm not in a hurry. All right, let's do a test to see. You hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Listen, that's what you want. So, my heat is cranked. Ribeye on. Heat on the ribeye. 1.5 minutes. All right, it has been 1.5 minutes of popping and crackling. Let's see how this bad boy looks. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. This time it didn't. It's that wonderful crust on there. That thing is seared perfect. Get our weight on. Another 1.5 minutes. Okay, it has been another 1.5 minutes. Let's check out our sear. That sucker is medium through and through. Don't be in a hurry. She has to rest. Now we're going to get ribeye number 2. Lay it down. Weight on. 1.5 minutes of greasy greasiness. All right, it has been 1.5 minutes. Let's see how the sear went on this bad boy. Oh, look at that. Look at that freaking sear. All right, so now let's get our heat turned off. And I literally had my stove turned as far hot as it would go. I'm in no hurry to cut these steaks. These need to rest 5 minutes. If you cut this thing right now, this ribeye, blood's gonna run out of it and it's gonna be a piece of leather. Let her rest. She's fine right there. Look at the sear. Oh, can't wait. All right, we'll be back. Let's get our ribeye plated up with our wonderful Fig Chianti and Balsamic Reduction. Look at that reduction. Oh my gosh. We're just gonna drizzle, yeah, a little bit of splotches here and there. Tell you what, that smells amazing. So I plated up our sous vide ribeye that we seared in our cast iron skillet, and I drizzled it with some of our wonderful Fig Chianti and Balsamic Reduction. This is the ribeye rested for 5 minutes. You gotta let them rest. If you do not let them rest, you're gonna just let it run all over your plate. We like our steaks medium. If you like a well done steak, save your money and go buy some beef jerky. As far as I'm concerned, cut me off a little piece of this bad boy here with some of the reduction on it.
It's good.
Oh, honey. Figs are in season. They're sitting at your Whole Foods retailer right now, maybe at your local grocer. Go get them. Get some balsamic. Get some Chianti. Make this reduction. Do your ribeyes. If you don't have a sous vide, however you cook them, sous vide for me, I can't screw it up that way, and I've ruined some really nice cuts of meat. This is outstanding. Wow. I want more of that reduction. I'm gonna put more of that reduction on here. So, with that, thank you so much for watching POV Italian Cooking. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. But absolutely most important to me, please click that subscribe button on YouTube. This is outstanding. I gotta eat this. I got another side dish, which we're gonna do a tasting for right now. But thank you for watching, and ciao.